Well, hello there, YouTube. You guys remember a few months ago when I got this? This is by 1byone, www, the number one, by1.com. Remember I took it out and fired up the old Ford truck out there with it. That's when I discovered the battery was missing on my Toyota, which is still missing. But anyway, this is a 9,000 milliamp hour jumper kit. It's really cool how it works with the, it's not, you don't have full power coming through here all the time, which is kind of sketchy and dangerous on a lot of them, where you plug them in, they're hot. They're immediately hot. If these things somehow or another touch something, it would be ugly. But anyway, with these, you click them on, you have 30 seconds to start your car. But anyway, really cool kit. I've actually used this quite a bit, and very impressed with it. So, like everything else in the world, this is still available as far as I know, but things advance and get bigger and better and faster, and so also by 1byone, this is a new high horsepower unit. This thing is bad to the bone. This one is a 16,000 milliamp hour, and it has a little more features, kind of the same, but has way more horsepower to it. It comes in this nice little carry case, which is a little different. It's not form fitted like the other one, but you could use this. You could stick other things in here. Where's all the dirt coming from on this thing? But anyway, it's been sitting off to the side there in the house. But anyway, you could stuff a bunch of other stuff in this thing if you needed extra room for things. And this will all make sense here in a minute. But anyway, up front or up top is a little zipped, little netted carrying case that has your charger to charge it. It has a 12 volt. I'll explain more about this in a second. You have a charger, so you can start your vehicle and then use your vehicle to recharge your pack. Plus, it has this nifty little kit here for charging laptops and whatnot. This one is actually the one that fits my Dell. It will charge the battery, but it will not charge the battery with the computer powered up. I get a message that pops across in Windows 10 saying that, it's not recognized and it will not charge the battery. But that's only with it powered up. If I power it down and plug it in, I get the charge light. And I've let it sit on there for a bit, and it does charge it. And of course, an instruction manual, which is actually very easy to read. You guys know how some of these things, there seems to be a language barrier. A nice little cover that protects the main unit from the accessories. This is one bad mama jama right here. It is, quite a bit bigger than the other one, but she's packing a whole lot more horsepower. So, speaking of the laptop, you got a 19 volt 3.5 amp output. You plug this in, and you have your selection of adapters that you use to click in and charge whatever, laptops. Then of course you got the 5 volt 1 amp and 2.1 amp output. So I'll charge phones, iPads, whatever you have hanging around. This is the input for charging the unit, whether you're using the 12 volt adapter or the AC adapter. And you can also charge it with a mini USB, or mini is that micro USB. Excuse me. So you have an option of a couple of ways to charge it. Obviously, it's going to charge probably fastest on the AC charger, or even with your car running, the 12 volt will probably give it a pretty quick charge. But 16,000 milliamps, that's crazy. So it has a starting current of 400 amps with a peak current of 800 amps. The other one was 400 with a peak of 5 or 600, I don't recall. But like the other one, it's got a light built into it, which in this lighting in here doesn't do it justice. It's actually quite a bit brighter than it appears. And like the other one, you got the strobe, the SOS, and then off. And once activated, it tells you the percent of power that's going on. And similar to the other one, it has the same setup for this a little jumper pack, or the jumper for it. Now this is reading it. It's reading the I believe it's battery temperature or ambient temperature. I'm not sure. I'm not quick enough to know what 20 Celsius is. I guess that would probably be ambient temperature in here, 20 Celsius. But anyway, similar to the other one, you with it hooked up, you click the button. It's got to be hooked up. You click the button and you'll have 30 seconds to start the vehicle. But what's unique about this one is if you do nothing, just hit the 30 seconds. Once that 30 seconds is up, this will produce 12 volts. And what you do with this, if some of the cars are very sensitive to you unplugging the battery. It resets the computer, clocks, and I don't know if cars still do that these days, but some of the early ones, you had to drive them 50 to 100 miles to like reset everything. The throttle position sensor, all the sensors got reset. You disconnect the battery, it's like a hard reset. Well, what you can do with this is you can plug it onto your terminals, remove the terminals from your battery, take your battery out, like say it's for some kind of a maintenance item or something that requires disconnecting the battery, working on your starter motor or your starter relay type of thing. This will supply the vehicle with voltage so it doesn't reset the computers. Well, on the flip side of that, that's got to be reading inside temperature inside here. I wasn't sure on that. If it was reading battery temperature somehow or another, it's just reading ambient temperature. And there's a little button on it that you hit. But you can, and I don't see anything. The book doesn't even describe this, and I was just going to test it on my own. But this, I'm assuming, will supply 12 volts coming out of here. Now, what kind of amperage or whatever, I have no idea. Or what you do to get it activated. I'm sure something's got to be plugged into it. So I am going to experiment with this. It shows this as the list of things in the book, but it doesn't explain what it does. So I'm assuming it just provides 12 volts. For anything, you could literally use it as a second adapter. How many of you have the little cigarette lighter adapters for USB plugs or battery tenders or whatever? I wouldn't think this would charge a battery. It may, a motorcycle battery, if you left it on. You have 16,000 milliamps here. But this I'll have to experiment with, because like I say, it doesn't explain that in the manual. I guess I should have done that before I did the review. But I can almost guarantee you this is going to produce 12 volts. And in addition to having a USB plug, and if you guys don't like traveling, if you don't have one of these, you need to jump on Amazon. Maybe I'll find a link for the one I bought, and there's plenty more of them. But one I use on travel, it has like a 2-foot cord on it. You plug it in, and what it is just a charge brick, and it has 4 USB ports on. There's some that have quite a few USB ports, and it has an on-off switch on the little brick. It's just like those little charge bricks you plug into your wall, little surge protector looking things. It's similar to that, but for USB things, but or items. When I travel, it's great I just have that plugged into a cigarette lighter in the saddlebag. And with the 2-foot cord, I can keep that thing on top of everything, because the plug-in is down at the bottom of the saddlebag. And I can plug in GoPros, phones, whatever. and just switch it on, and it goes active and it'll charge. But you could use that in here, or if you didn't have one of those and you're charging one here, my thought process here is you could have one of the little USB adapters in here and be charging something as well. But I need to experiment and verify that. We're going to perform a quick little test here with this 12-volt adapter. This is the, I guess I told you guys it was 2 feet long. It's actually about 3 feet long. This is that little USB charging station. This is actually a BRP 12-volt socket that goes that I've been swapping from the one demo Spider to the next. I purchased this on my own for the trips, and it goes up in the front cargo area of the Spider. I haven't put it in the 2016 model. So, this may be the dumbest thing I've ever done. Because like I say, it doesn't describe exactly what you can do with that, but it's pretty obvious what you can do with it. There's just a little omission in the manual that comes with it. So we're gonna give this a shot. We're gonna plug it into here, and we're gonna plug this into the jumper box. I know this is gonna work, or you're gonna witness my Note 5 blow up in front of me. I just don't know what it takes to get it to activate. Do I just turn it on, or does it sense? All right. There you go. Of course, it's 100% charged, but you can see she is charging. Battery's charging. It does work. She's lit up and rumbling. So, there you go. There's an additional option. And look, even the display went out. It's still working. Perfect. I knew that would work. But this is definitely going with me on the road trip. Now, when I refer to road trip, this is the upcoming Yellowstone Motovlogger meetup, and also the Red Rock Rally, Spider Rally in St. George, Utah, that I'll be going to. That's two of them that I'm going to this year. And obviously, I'll be taking a motorcycle on the Motovlogger meetup, and the Spider with Kelly and I to the Spider meetup. But that's going to be fantastic fun. But this is going with me, and I will, as a backup. I'm just one of these. I'm over prepared, always over prepared. I will carry this by itself. I'll carry the whole kit, you know, so in case somebody needed a jump or whatever. But I'll have this 9,000 amp one with me as well. Hell, this one I can stick in both of these I could stick in a coat pocket. This I could literally stick in my back pocket and be, you know, charging my GoPro while I'm going down the road, or the Cena headset, or whatever, you know. And if nothing else, you could have dueling batteries going on here. Where's my power button? They both seem to have about the same brightness. I was playing with it in the dark. It seems like this one is a little bit brighter. You guys decide. But if nothing else, you could have one. You could have this sitting on the ground in an emergency doing some work on your bike, and have this one sitting in the facing backwards or traffic strobing. You know, there's all kinds of different things you could do. But anyway, gotta love these portable power packs that are coming out nowadays. And I really like with the 1+1 that this thing is not full hot. You know, I have one from another brand that we've had several of them in the shop, and they've all blown up. Mine was the only one that lasted, and I won't name the brand. And I had a Harley that had been sitting for a while, so most of the oil had made it was an older Harley, and it made its way to the crankcase. And you know, they're not hydro-locked, but they have a hard time turning over. They're getting towards that point, but they're hard to turn over, and it literally swelled the one I had up from another brand. And I was the last one to have one of those that's still alive, and she's dead now. It'll supply voltage for like charging something, but the battery inside dies very quick. It won't jump anything. if a bike is just, and it's like a little Japanese inline four, something that doesn't take a lot of amperage to start, if the battery is just low enough it won't start it, I can use it to give it help to start. But if it's a dead battery or anything, the one at work that swelled up, it's dead. And it dies really, really quick. So, and it's nowhere near, it's not even as powerful as this one. I don't remember what the milliamps were, but it's not 9,000. I want to say it was like 4,000 or 5,000 milliamps. So, I mean, this 9,000 one, she's been a bad boy. I've used this surprisingly a lot. And anyway, this one, 16,000 milliamps. I mean, this thing will go for days. Nothing better than being out camping or whatever. Like on this motor vlogger thing, we're going to stay at a cabin, which will probably have electricity in the cabin, most likely. But you never know. You know, if you're on the side of the road tenting it, you could have, you know, little laptop lights plugged into these things glowing, or use the light that's on there. I mean, I'm sure, you know, these LEDs, they don't burn anything anymore. So, fantastic thing to have in your car or in your motorcycle, especially on trips, you know. And this being, you know, a softer case kind of appeals to me as well, because you guys know that travel on motorcycles, I might get it in there right, you know that you got to have some flexibility. In a hard case, it has to fit in one specific area. There's no give to it. So if these things have a little give to them, you can kind of nook them into a corner that they normally wouldn't fit into. But anyway, I'm sure I'll come across something here where we'll perform a test on this one. I don't know if this one requires the sensing where it needs to have a battery present. This one I tried to hook up to the truck without a battery. And without the battery on there, it knew there was no battery source. So even though I went into the 30-second mode, it wouldn't start the truck. And this one seems to do things a little different. So maybe I'll give that a shot. And we'll do another video on starting up the old Toyota that's been sitting out there forever. Anyway, the 1x1 jump starter kit. And like most of these things, and this one is no exception, you have the ability to charge other devices with the addition of charging laptops and stuff. That is really, really cool. I don't know how big the battery is in my Dell laptop, you know, so I don't know how many charges I could get out of it, but iPads, tablets, phones, I mean, you know, what my iPhone, it's 3,000 something milliamps, and my Note 5 is exactly 3,000 milliamp battery. I mean, how many, you got several charges there on those devices. But yeah, bad boy. So the guys at 1byone was nice enough. He emailed me a couple of links for US and UK Amazon, where you can pick these things up and get yourself a little discount. I don't get any kickback on that. My kickback is the battery kit, which I will use and cherish. But I don't know what the discount is. I'll have to actually click on it myself to see what it is. But anyway, that link will be in the description. And I appreciate you guys watching, and you guys that are coming along on the Yellowstone trip this year. You need to pick yourself up one of these bad boys if you have room to carry it. And I mean, I think it'll fit in a backpack, or, you know, take what you need and you know, stuff this in, you know, pockets in your backpack. You don't have to carry the whole case. But well worth having, especially a high-powered one. Well worth having. Trust me, from experience, you will be charging stuff. Your cameras, your phones, you're going to be out in the middle of nowhere, and you're going to need something charged. And if something happens to your bike, it's nice to have a backup. But anyway, once again, for the 100th time, thank you guys very much. And thank you, 1byone.com. You guys are awesome. Take care now. Bye-bye.